Many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. You're already not alone. Welcome home.
Am I on now? Okay, well, welcome again. Now that we can hear me, that's fabulous. Anyway, so I would like to see, I'm looking around, do we have any new faces today? Looks like no new today. Okay, that's excellent. Well, we like new people, but it's always good to see the old faces too. That didn't come out right. Familiar, that's better. It's good to see the familiar faces, much better, yes. So let's take a moment and do a little meet and greet. Let's take maybe just a few minutes. Go ahead and stand up and say hello to your friends. And remember, if you're going to hug, ask permission. And while we're doing that, will you give us a little ditty? Yeah. Okay, welcome back to the seats. Afterwards, you're more than welcome. You can break bread with each other. Come on back. Apparently, can you hear me? Hello. That might be fun. We'll do a little gong action. Welcome back. So I want to take a minute to thank all of those people that come in a little early, help get everything set up to keep creating this wonderful event that we do every other Sunday. So I have Marina on tech, which we're so grateful for. Thank you so much. Bill, our practitioner, is volunteered for our sound today, so thank you so much for being willing to take up a new education and learn how to work that thing. We have Alan, our musician and our singer, who keeps us all on track. We have Sue. Are you high watch today? We'll say Sue is high watch today. Yes, so thank you, Sue, for being high watch today. Absolutely. Diana in our food, thank you for setting that up and making that happen. We've got Anna who did our greeting today, so thank you. And then of course we have our practitioner of the day, which is Miss Stephanie. Thank you for being here and doing that. I got everybody? I think so. Yep. So now for our first song. Alan, take it away.
This is a Shea Barlow song we haven't heard in a while. I bow to the divine in you. See your light, see it shining through. I'm grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, namaste. I bow to the joy in you. See your bliss, see it shining through. I'm grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, namaste. I bow to the love in you. Crazy bliss, see it shining through. I'm grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, namaste. I bow to the truth in you. See your spark, see it shining through. I'm grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, namaste. Good morning, friend, namaste. Good morning, friend, namaste.
Good morning. It's such a different experience being on the other side of things. So it's good to see everybody here. We are going to do the Flames of Faith ceremony. I'm so used to having a mic. I got to get used to talking. We perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all things, all beings, come from one great universal presence, which we like to call Spirit. We first light the unity candle, which represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. There we go. And we breathe. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle acknowledging centers for spiritual living and all forms of new thought, the metaphysical path of a personal relationship of healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the next candle for inclusivity, affirming that those that are seeking a stronger knowing and understanding of divine love are welcome here. There is nothing outside of God. You are welcome here. We now light the healing candle and invite you to silently offer into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they are now the perfect expression of Spirit's eternal wholeness and love and perfection. And let us affirm together, and so it is.
Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. In your eyes I see a light that's shining through. You radiate such grace, so I bow to you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. You give your loving heart to everyone you see. The way you live your life inspires me. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you.
As we just breathe in the light of the word namaste, meaning wholeness, meaning recognizing I do this right here and right now. Recognize the wholeness that is before me in every waking moment of my life. Because I can do this for myself, I know that each and every one of us has the opportunity to do this. And so I bless that opportunity as it rises deep from within each and every one of us. And I bless this service, knowing that everything is coming out perfectly for the ears of those who are hearing this truth, this alignment, this awakening is within each and every one of us. And so I release it into the law. I know today is perfect. I know this moment is perfect. And I am so grateful. As together we say yes, and so it is.
In your eyes I see the light that's shining through. You radiate such grace, so I bow to you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. I see the beauty in you. Great. I just want to say, you guys sound like a choir out there. This is really good. So now we get to welcome a good friend of ours, Rick Baird, is going to come up and speak to us a little bit. for about 5 minutes or so, and welcome, Rick.
So is this on? Okay. So I was asked to talk a little bit about a trip I took recently. For some years, I've wanted to do a pilgrimage trek, and a lot of people do the one in Spain. I wanted to do one that had some other meaning to me and perhaps was a little less crowded, that I could have a meditative experience on that. And turned out that was the case. There weren't very many people. Sometimes I'd see only 2 or 3 other groups a day on the trail. Pilgrimages. Phil Cousino said, "When the scales of laziness fall over our eyes and we have begun to take life for granted, we must take an arduous journey to relearn the essential truths of the life right before our eyes." So this was my journal that I kind of kept along my trip, and everywhere the way of the pilgrim is twofold: the exterior and the interior, the simultaneous movement of the feet and the soul through time as well as space. So I wanted to do this in a way that was meaningful to me, not just a hike. And so, I did some things to prepare. I got this little cross that was made out of from an olive tree. I thought about what trail. I decided to follow the way of St. Francis from Florence to Assisi. And I was a little surprised recently to find out that some people didn't know who St. Francis was. My sister said, "Oh, is it a trail named after the Pope?" No, not quite. So Francis brought the world a life of radical simplicity, unmoored to possessions and therefore free to follow the promptings of grace and the path toward God, wherever and whenever God summoned him. His spirit was one of remarkable spontaneity. He leaped to the needs of others, just as he hurried to catch up with God, who was always inviting him to a new adventure. Francis at Montefeltro Castle atop a cliff said, "So great the good that I foresee that every tribulation is a joy to me." He was born around 1181, died in 1226, and had radically changed the way people looked at the Catholic faith at that point. So some of the principles that I wrote down, that I got from Racine's, who wrote about pilgrimage: keep your pack light, don't be in a hurry, absorb your surroundings with all your senses, accept whatever is offered you as a gift from God, walk in expectation of the unexpected, keep plans flexible and adapt as you go, accept your limitations, greet and take interest in other pilgrims, offering them something if they need it. Have reverence for those who have walked before you, appreciate the locals and get to know them, sample their foods, read historical markers, touch the stones, leave behind somewhere an appropriate token. So I tried to do some of these things. I really tried to connect with nature. I felt like sometimes the birds were singing just to me. I think they probably always do that. You just have to tune in. There were times. So this was a 15-day trek, and my son was with me for 8, and I was by myself for 7 days. And throughout that, there were times I felt like the butterflies were circling around me and then landing on the trail in front of me, just showing off their beautiful colors. But I tried to tune in where I could. along the way. I had different quotes. I carried this book with me the whole time that just was quotes, and I'd read things out of it on the trail. The first day that I was out, and then I try to think about it. The first day I was out, my thought for the day was, abide lovingly with your creations, replace the old dream with the new dream. And I move away from striving for God, for perfection, and cultivate within myself perfection, and cultivate within myself the process of allowing. I embrace all things with innocence, and a light will shine through the things that I look at. I've also tried to write poetry here and there, and I wanted to write some poems on this trip. I ended up only writing one, but it was I stayed in convents and monasteries and Airbnbs and different things along the way. One place I stayed at a monastery, the Foresteria del Monastero di Camaldoli. Oh, by the way, I tried to study Italian for a few years before I went, and so I had, so I could connect in that way with that. But I wrote a poem about this monastery, and in my journal I wrote, I'm not sure why the poem went the direction it did, but I just tried to go with it. Walking the halls of the monastery, I sensed a quietness and respect. So I wanted to read the poem, the Monastero di Camaldoli. The silence speaks to all bones and weary feet of the traveler. Walls hear the centuries of devotion, serving self and all in holy reunion. Travelers joining the silence and birth. Forgiveness is delicate kindness to ourselves and sometimes others. We begin again, baptizing ourselves in clean, clear water, allowing patience and kindness with our desire. Those who ask again and again for our humility and deep eyes cannot know the liberty, the golden rays of providence that spread before us in a panoramic renewal. Just walking the halls of that place. Another special place was Laverna, where Francis would often go and sleep on the rocks and the crevices and meditate and pray. And that was a special place. I got to see some of his clothes and other things there. San Damiano was also a special place near Assisi, where Francis started his journey. And I wanted to leave behind something that was important to me. As many know, a poem, "The Journey" by Mary Oliver, has been an important poem to me. I printed it in a size that I could put packing tape on each side of it, and I brought that for everybody, and I also have it in Italian on the back, and I'll put it on the table in the back if you're interested. I didn't put the packing tape on it, it's just the paper, but and I got a testimonium at the end. I'm not sure I'm into that kind of stuff, but this trip I just wanted to do that. I got stamps along the way of every town that I was in. And there were some other special things along the way. I sensed my father with me at times. He was a lover of hiking. The last day, as I entered Assisi, I sensed his presence. later that day I realized it was his birthday. Anyway, so I did, the original plan was to do 280 kilometers, which is a couple hundred miles, and my knee was giving me problems, so I ended up doing about 230 kilometers, so about 175 miles, and I'd take a taxi out some days to cut 8 or 9 kilometers off and then walk the last 16 or something like that. So, you know, I had to adjust like the rules said, you have to know your limitations. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to share it. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to talk about it. So.
That was a special treat. Thank you, Rick. There's also percussion tools underneath Reverend Rachel's chair if anybody cares. I'll tell you what, these drummers, you know. I wish I could hear. Hear this. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize a God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Hey, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together. We come together in the name of love.
We come together, yes. Oh, today, this month, we've been talking about living in color. Yeah. And we've talked a lot about what that means, how to be authentic, where our consciousness is. And Rick, you come up and you share with us where your consciousness is, which is about honoring yourself, honoring nature, honoring your history, your ancestors, as well as your family today. Thank you for that, for sharing. And Alan sings to us about namaste, which is, I see the God in you and you see the God in me. What spiritual practices we're sharing here. And the greatest spiritual practice, I would say, that I would challenge you, is to share yourself, to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable means, we have our social media face, right? And we've got our Sunday service face. But what about the real who I am? Do we share that? I would also say one of the biggest gifts that we could get to give is to see the people that we're encountering. So we want to show ourselves to be seen, and then we want to see the people that we're engaging with. So that takes us to, thank you, David. I never remember the clicker until I'm like, oh, my first slide. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage, Brené Brown. When I heard the topic was about being vulnerable, of course Brené Brown comes to mind. Remember the first time I heard her talk was on KNPR, and it was All Things Considered, one of my favorite shows, and she was talking about the idea of shame and vulnerability, and she's a researcher, so for years she's been collecting testimonials about what makes people happy and what stops us from being happy. And shame is one of those things that destroys happiness, destroys vulnerability. The book I've been reading, Existential Kink, she says shame kills the magic, which I agree with. So getting past the shame and knowing that opening ourselves up and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable is one of the most courageous things that we can do. And the odd thing is that a lot of us, we're scared about showing who we are, the underbelly, and yet we admire and respect and find inspiration in those who do that, who are vulnerable and honest and open to who they really are. Right? We go, wow, I want to be that guy. So in how creating vulnerability is, it's really about becoming aware of who you are, of paying attention to what's going on inside of you. Give you an example. That whole awareness thing. I went to a graduation a couple of weeks ago. It was the new ministers graduating from Redondo Beach, so there was about 4 or 5 of them. And a couple of people were being honored with being presented their master's hoods. And I was like, oh, I want to get my master's hood. So I text the dean. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be there. Can I get my master hood too? And she said, I'm ordering enough. If you're here, I'll definitely make sure you get one if they come in. Well, I get there, and she's like, oh, Rachel, you're here. And she goes, oh, they didn't come in. I only have 2, so I can't present you one. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So, but I was still in the procession, so I still had my robe, and I had my stole, and I walked down, and I'm sitting in the front row, and it comes to that part of the ceremony where she says, well, the people that are being presented their master robes, please, or hoods, please come up. And so the 2 of the 3 of us get up and go, and all of a sudden, I get this wave of not enoughness, of insignificance, of feeling like I'm unimportant. And I was just devastated. And then I thought to myself, Rachel, what are you doing? What are you feeling right now? Why are you feeling this? Are these old tapes? It's just that awareness of this is how I'm feeling. Why am I feeling that? So I spent, while they're doing their hooding thing and I'm watching it, that time exploring me, being vulnerable with me, being honest and open and real with me. And by the end of that little bit of the ceremony, I was able to release it and be grateful that I was here to honor my friends who were getting their hoods. And that useless and unimportant and unnecessary part of me that I was feeling was just an echo from another time. So, at the end of the ceremony, the dean gets up and she goes, I just had this inspiration. I was just sitting here thinking that there are 3 groups of people here, the people that are graduating right now, the people that got the hoods, and then there's about 5 of people that, because of COVID, never had a ceremony. And she named off those people, including Reverend Joe Kovach, and said, but Rachael Dilling is here today. Rachel, will you please stand? I was was like, did I just do that? Was that like in my consciousness that I just created that? I'm going to own it. It was. And I felt so loved and so honored. I was actually, my eyes got all teary. And I thought to myself, that's the power. That's the power of allowing me to be vulnerable and honest with me. That's the power of looking at me and saying, where are these feelings coming from? What is this about? Because when I shift my energy, I shift the energy around me. That's vulnerability. That's power, right? So along with vulnerability, there is this unconditional acceptance of myself, of who I am, that God energy that is within me that's going to show the experience that I'm here to have as God. And then the unconditional acceptance of the people around me, that I can look at you and love you for who you are, whatever that is, your expression of God, which can be a little challenging, especially if you're engaging with somebody that you're in total disagreement with or is in total disagreement with you. So I have a girlfriend of mine, and I did something and she was not happy with it. But she's a girlfriend of mine, and so there I am. She called, and so I'm waiting at the coffee shop for her because she had called and asked if I could meet her so she could have a discussion with me. And I was anxious about it because she has a bit of a temper. And I had talked to my prayer partners about it, and one of them reminded me about this unconditional acceptance, to hold the space for her to be who she is, to show up the way she needs to show up, and to stay in a place of love. And I'm like, I can do that. So I sat at the coffee shop, and I opened myself up, and I have this mantra in my mind: I am so full of love, there is no room for judgment. I am so full of love, there is no room for judgment. So she came in, because she's always late. She came in and she sat down, and I'm in this place of, I'm so full of love, there is no room for judgment. I'm simply holding the space for her to be who she needs to be. And we had the most vulnerable conversation that I've ever had with her. She told me about her fears and her concerns and her loves and her anxiety and the things that were going on in her life right now. And it actually never got back to, Rachel, you were wrong, which is where I thought it was going to go. It wasn't there at all. But because I was willing to open, to hold the space to honor her and who she was, to give her the ability to express and to be vulnerable, she took it. I didn't even do anything. I was being something, but I wasn't doing anything, right? So this is not a hard thing to do. Well, let me say it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, because it takes self-discipline. It takes boundaries. It takes my willingness and my ability to hold myself accountable, right? So 3 easy parts. So in your mind right now, I'd like you to think about an uncomfortable situation. It doesn't have to be a hard one. It can be an easy, uncomfortable situation, but put it in your mind. And you're looking at that individual, and I want you to get curious. Curious about why they have the perspective, or where they're coming from, or what's going on in their life. And I want you to think of one question, and I want you to ask in your mind's eye that question, that curious question. And then I want you to look at this person in your mind's eye, and I want you to think of a strength that they have. Passion, concern, a big heart, full of love, whatever that is. And I want you to say, I see in you, and give that strength to that individual. And finally, I want you to offer silent goodwill to this individual, a blessing, if you will. May you be blessed with a sense of security, love, compassion. does that change the feeling of the conversation in your mind's eye? By being curious, by seeing the strength in somebody else and blessing them with goodwill, can shift everything that's going on. Because you can be so full of love that you have no room for judgment. So I'm going to challenge you to do this week, to take the time when you get that frustration, because we all get frustrated. We all have moments in our lives where we're like, can't believe they did that. And if we use this simple practice, it can shift things in us and change the energy in our environment, and who knows what you can create. Maybe somebody will get up on stage and acknowledge you. So in Science of Mind, we have our we believes. This is the second we believe. We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. So that means there is the whole, there is God. And inside of God, there is us. And us is the experience that God is happening as a physical experience in this reality. That was a lot of words. But basically it means I'm an expression of God, you're an expression of God, you're an expression of God, and we are here to have those experiences. But when we get caught up with, I don't agree with you, so you're wrong and bad, or you don't agree with me, so you think I'm wrong and bad, we are not honoring each other as elements or energies of God. We are putting our judgment of what should look like in front of the acknowledgement that we are all one, that we are all here to have the experience. And if I had the same experience and opinions that you do, and you have the same experience and opinions that I do, why would both of us need to exist? Right? So I remember when I was about 15 years old, I was visiting my Aunt Gloria. And my Aunt Gloria was very, very religious. It was her entire life was around the church that she belonged to. And I respect that passion and that conviction. But at 15, it was very confusing to me because that was not how I was raised. I was not raised with the beliefs that she held. And so I remember taking the phone, and it had one of those little squiggly pigtails. Remember them? And I went into the bathroom. That's how long it was, because I got from the kitchen, and I was in the bathroom, and I was sitting on the floor with my mom on the phone, and I'm like, I'm so confused. How can she be so passionate and so have such conviction that she is right, and it doesn't follow any that we believe in? And so is she wrong or am I wrong? And my mom said, you know, Rachel, she doesn't have to be wrong for you to be right. And you don't have to be wrong for her to be right. It is a belief system, and we all have our own, and it's okay. And I remember thinking, that's an interesting way of looking at life. And I think that's followed me through all these years, because I can be so full of love there doesn't have to be judgment. Now there's negotiation. There is, you and I are on opposite sides of the pole. We want different things to happen, but we really probably want the same things to happen, like we want peace on earth, we want love, we want compassion, we want individual respect. But your way of approaching it and my way of approaching it may be different. There's a great book, it's called Getting to the Yes. It's a negotiation book. It's a beautiful book. And I found it very enlightening and very helpful. Because sometimes, one of the good stories in that one is two little kids, they both want the orange. They're fighting over the orange, and mom comes in and goes, you can't both, why do you want the orange? And so the one little girl says, well, I want the orange zest so that I can make my pie, cake, whatever she was cooking. And the other one said, well, I want to eat it, I'm hungry. And so because mom asked the question, she could peel the orange, give the zest to one kid, give the meat to the other kid, and we're no longer at war because we both have what we were looking for. But only by asking the clarifying questions do we get to the point of understanding the needs of each individual. So The Power of Yes, highly recommended. We're not there yet. So there is a lot of things that we can be aware of if we're talking about our spiritual practices, getting to that place where we are honoring ourselves by allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. But I want to go back to what that looks like, because being vulnerable doesn't necessarily mean that I'm just going to go lay myself out in front of everybody and open myself up to dangerous and unnecessary places, right? I have to be strong enough inside of me to be able to be that in that space. So to start with, we want to be in safe places. We want to draw our boundaries. We want to know that the people we're talking to are going to create that safe environment. And once we grow stronger, then we are able to be more vulnerable and open because our roots are deeper. So there's a master gardener. And the master gardener has these little, you've seen them, the little fences around the flowers to protect the flowers, right? And every day he'd go out and he'd prune them a little bit and he'd loosen the soil a little bit and give them a little extra love and a little extra water. And the neighbor comes over and he goes, "Why do you put fences around your plants?" And the gardener says, "Well, it's not to keep the love out, but to keep the weeds from encroaching on the plants." And if we look at that as our garden, our mental garden, and God as the gardener, we can put the fences around our growth, our being able to flower, our producing fruit, to keep the growth, the unwantedness out, the negativity, the weeds out, so that we can grow in a stronger, more powerful way. So you may have heard that we have bombed Iraq, right? Iran, thank you. We've bombed Iran. So last night, David's reading this to me, and I'm like, what? And I go to this really defensive place. I go to this, how dare they? Oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then I remember this presentation or this talk that I was doing today, and I thought, maybe I don't need to go to fighting. Maybe it's not about the fight. Maybe it's about the peace. Maybe it's about me being even stronger in my convictions of love, of seeing each individual as a perfect expression, and knowing that in that peace in me, that I can help bring peace to you, and in your peace, that you can help bring peace to the next group of people, and we can increase the peace one individual at a time. He said to me, David said to me yesterday, "I think you're talking about the forest, but maybe we need to talk about the trees." And I said, that's right. That's exactly what we need to talk about. We need to talk about the trees that is me. I need to be the strongest tree. I need to make sure that my watering happens and my roots are deep. And you know that song, "We Can't Stop the Fire" by Billy Joel? It's been burning since the beginning of time. I lost the words to it just now. We didn't start the fire. It's been burning since the world's been turning. We try to fight it even though we didn't ignite it, right? So maybe the fight isn't it. Maybe we should stop trying to fight it, and we should tend to our tree and make sure it's strong and it's watered. We got these fires happening around us because of why? Because the earth is dry and there's not enough rain, and the trees they're ready to be ignited, right? But what if something different had happened? What if the underbrush had been pushed away? What if there had been enough water for the trees? Then they wouldn't have ignited in the fire, right? It would have stopped a lot sooner. And so maybe that's the point, is taking care of ourselves, allowing ourselves to be nurtured, so the fire doesn't even happen, because we're not fighting it, We're just doing something different. Let's pray. So knowing that God is all there is, all knowing, all powerful, all present, knowing that God is the source of all things, I know that I am of and from and in and as this universal energy, as is everybody in this room. Everybody hears my voice right this moment. All the world is a reflection and an existence of this universal energy. And so knowing this, the truth, I know that my words have power. And so I declare right here and right now that there is so much love. There is no room for judgment. There's so much love in my heart and the hearts around us that there is only nurture. There is only nourishment. There is vulnerability and acceptance and peace. That this world understands and feels that peace. That prayer is used as a tool to validate, to express, to experience the God experience, whatever that looks like. And for this I am grateful. I am so very grateful for this being the truth, that each individual flowers and blossoms into their divine purpose. So grateful. I release my word into the law, knowing it is done, done, done. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is. And so it is. So I have an affirmation for us. I open my heart to see the divine in every soul I meet. I speak my truth in love, and I receive others' truth with compassion. So let's go ahead and stand up, and we're going to say this together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I open my heart to see the divine in every soul I meet. I seek my truth in love and receive others' truth with compassion. And so it is, and so it is. Thank you, me. And we're going to move right into our tithing. You know, we had a council meeting yesterday, and we were talking about this concept of tithing. And Charles, our treasurer, said, you know, tithing literally means 10%. But 10% of what, right? 10% of your treasures, 10% of your talents, 10% of your time. And in that 10% of treasure and time and talents, we create our center. And yes, we are here in this beautiful place, and we are so grateful for a space to gather. But there's this vision, right? This vision of having our own space, being able to have meetings and drum circles and meditations and gatherings where we have potlucks and we come together as a community. And that happens through the tithing of our time and our treasures and our talents. And so whatever it is that you feel compelled, you feel inspired to bring to us. For our new council members, I'm so grateful for the volunteers that come to do the food and the greeting and the soundboard and all of these things. So grateful. That time, that treasure, that talent. And then there's the other side of that, right? Because we believe in this reciprocation law of the more I give, the more I receive. If I want more time, I give more time. If I want more money or treasure, I give more time and treasure. And so I'm going to say to you, think about what is it that you want to see here? What is it you want to create here? And that is what you give. So whatever that is, I want you to put in your hands right now. And I want you to put it on your heart. And I want you to say our affirmation with me right this minute. I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means. And so it is. That feels good. And there are plenty of ways to give. So if you would like to do a Zelle, feel free to do it that way. You've got your blue envelopes on your chairs, and you can put those in the red bowl over there, or you can mail, or you can use a QR code. Lots of ways to share that abundance in your life and in your center. So let's do a little music, and we're going to sing along. I love the song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And when my heart is open wide, I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am in the Spirit. Yes, I am only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And here it is open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I am only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I am only here for God.
So knowing that God is all there is, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present, I am so very grateful. Knowing that this investment in the future of us as a community continues to grow, to do its work, and to bless us all through this law of reciprocation. In such gratitude, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I release my word to the law, knowing it is done, and so it is. So it is. Yay. Okay, so we have a little special thing happening today because last week was Father's Day, and Reverend Joe felt like it was important that we honor our fathers in person. So, Tony, will you come on up? Tony has a quote for us. Oh, actually, you need to be there, don't you? I'll stand over here.
So Rachel asked me, I hate these things. There we go. Rachel asked me to give today's quote in honor of all the fathers. And when I think about fathers, it's not just those who have children. It's those that are an inspiration to others. It's those that are our role model to our youth. It's even father figures to our little fur babies. So there's many ways that you can be a father, not just because you have children. So let me get to the quote here. And today's quote says, "What makes you a man is not the ability to have a child, it's the courage to raise one." I lost it. Come back.
It's on the monitor.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, let me try this again. What makes you a man is not the ability to have a child. It is the courage to raise one, to guide with humility, to show up without fanfare, to sacrifice your own ease for the sake of someone else's future. That is the quiet greatness of fatherhood. It is not the role, and not a role of perfection, but of presence. And that's from Barack Obama. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
And we have flowers. So if you're a father, please raise your hand. We got 2. All right, I'll go over here. Ta-da. There are thorns, so be wary. Because with all beauty comes a little pain. No, I'm just kidding. And now Stephanie.
Announcements. All right. There's no Zoom today. Our conversation today at noon, because we're in person, we get to honor each other in person instead of online. So our next in-person service is July 13th, and it's Breathe. Love that. Okay, prayer requests. Our practitioners are available for a moment of prayer today and online. You can email practitioners for prayer at CSLSG.org/about. Our upcoming Sundays, Living Out Loud, will be our practitioners. Are we ready? Not yet. Okay.
You got a week, you're fine.
Huh?
You got a week, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Living in the moment, right? Okay. Remember the dolphins, the river dolphins? I'm not aware of river dolphins. Interesting. Okay, with our beautiful Reverend Joe Kovach, and I can't read the date, so it's the next following week. I guess I could turn around. Okay, and now we have Stanley here.
Mentioning earlier how you sounded like a choir. If you want, you can stand up. We're singing this song because it's a good time for it.
There are plenty of flowers, so if you feel so inclined, come get one. Get one, yes. Thank you. And there's